Hello everyone! Today we will go over the basics of how to begin in KOG, and as I started playing I can personally admit that I've had multiple difficulties in the beginning, even though I've had a prior 5-year experience in DD race. So for anyone that doesn't know where to start, this video is just the right place for you. And we will go over the client, the settings, the basic movements, and how to begin practicing so we can make you a KOG pro in no time, hitting clips like Hyuki. So the first step before you actually begin playing KOG, and please don't skip this because this is really important, is your client. Now you might be using a different client, okay? And that's okay, but the client is actually the thing that will help you progress your skill a lot, and there is a reason for that. So if we scroll down to features, we can see fast inputs, reduces input delay by 20 milliseconds. Now this is huge. I can personally admit that this thing improved my experience so much, and you will see for yourself when you get that, okay? So everything you do, your clicks, your movement, everything, it's just so much faster and instant. Now there are a lot of other features here which are nice. You can see outlines, profiles and all of that, bind wheel, and these are less important, but this one you have to get it for that. So if you scroll down even more, you can see the download button. Now I don't know what is that for. I guess it's for the phone or something if you use it. This is for Linux, but if you have Windows, you just click the download button and you can see it downloads a zip file, and you just open it, you extract the files, and inside the file you have the DDNet client, and you just join it. So now that we're inside the client, we will first go over the setting. So language, general, player, T, appearance and controls are less important for us because they are more general settings and not for KOG, so you can do those however you would like. Now graphics, the renderer that you choose here, it's really important because for the longest time I've had this one on and it lagged my game a lot, so just put the one that fits your PC the most and your game will be much more smoother. Now in sound, you can turn it off or on however you would like. I turned it off because I don't really like the sounds that DDNet has, so I just put it off. In DDNet, you want to turn on anti-ping and all of those four, because if you don't, then your game will just be more delayed and laggy, so it's a must for KOG, because if you have high ping like me, then your game will just be very delayed. And you want to put prediction margin at the lower region. If you put it higher, then your game will just be a bit more laggy, so just put however you would like, just leave it at the lower region. In assets, you just want to pick a more blatant colors like gray and black for the tiles, because if it will be colorful, then your eyes will just hurt and it will be distracting for you. So pick like blatant colors like gray and black, and I know it's boring, but trust me, it's gonna help you a lot. In T client, all of the other settings are less important. It's more of quality of life and however you want. The really important ones for KOG are input. You want to turn those two on. It will make your inputs much faster, and trust me, it will make your life much easier in KOG. And in anti-latency, I put remove prediction and anti-ping and freeze on. If you want, you can turn it off. It's not really important, it's just if you want. Anti-ping smoothing, I didn't turn those on because I honestly don't really feel the difference, but if you can test it for yourself, if you like it, then you can turn those on. And uncertainty duration also, it's for those, so you can do however you would like. and all of the other ones are really less important. It's just quality of life. Just do whatever you want in those. Now what I will teach you is basic saves. So those are just the basics for each save in KOG, and as you progress in the game then you will perform them better and be able to do it in tighter places, but those are the first saves that you should actually learn before you run off into main maps and easy maps. So the first save that I'm going to teach you is called a wall save, and the way you do it is by first picking the person up, and after you do that you want to hammer him as soon as he gets to you. So it looks like this: you pick him up and hammer, okay? And it's not that hard after you practice it enough, and you can do it in multiple ways. You can even do it like instantly, as you can see. So it goes a bit more up and you can just wait for him to fall on you and then do it. And yeah, it's pretty basic. Just learn it for basic maps and you will be good. So the next save I'm going to teach you, it's called a ceiling save, and the way it goes is you go on the opposite direction of where you want the person to end up at. So let's say I want him to be on the left and I go on the right, and usually it's gonna take just about 2 hooks to lift him up to me. So I'm gonna do that, and then he's gonna end up on the right. So it looks like this, you see? And if I want him to be on the right, then I go on his left and then I do like this, and it's pretty basic, you can see. I'm gonna show you one more time. I'm gonna go on the right and it's being saved. So just practice that and then you're gonna be good. Now the next save I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna clarify, you don't have to learn it, okay? Because this save is gonna be really hard for beginners. But I just want to teach you that because this save is really versatile, and as soon as you can learn it and master it, saving will be a lot more easier for you. So you can see I have my dummy here, and the way the save goes is like this, okay? You just pick him up and you hammer. But it may look easy, it's not that easy for beginners, and it's gonna take some practice to master, okay? And as you can see, I just go a bit above him, hook the ceiling and hammer. And as soon as you master it, as I said, it's gonna be a lot easier to save like this. Now the next save I'm gonna show you is called an overhead save. So the way you do it is you just hook a wall next to you or a ceiling or something, and you just gonna throw him above you and hammer him, okay? Like this. I'm gonna show you again. Throw him above you and hammer him, okay? And the big problem that a lot of people have with this save is they're gonna pick him up and go into him strong, you see? And when I do that, it just goes a lot more above than how I want him to be. So you're just gonna wait for him to fall into you and then hammer him. You're not gonna hammer him as soon as he goes up, because this is gonna make him go way more above than you need. You're gonna wait for him to come into you and you're gonna hammer him. Now the last basic save that I'm gonna show you, it's called an hook save. So the way it goes is you're gonna pick him up and you're gonna do like this, okay? And it's gonna be a bit difficult for some of you when you begin the game. You can also do it in this way, it may be easier for you, and as soon as you get better with it you can do it in tighter places, and it's really useful sometimes. It's a bit slower than a normal save with an hammer, but it's really consistent and it's really versatile, so you should also learn it. Now the next thing that you should probably learn before you start going and running into mains is a 3-tile and a 2-tile. Now a 3-tile is a pretty simple thing. You can just, you see, just look ahead of you and you spam hook. You can see it's pretty consistent. You're not really gonna die if you keep enough leverage above the ground, and it's pretty easy to maintain. Now a 2-tile is a bit harder. You have to be a bit faster with your hook. You can see even I'm almost falling down, and it's a bit harder, but you're just gonna get shorter ones in real maps and it's gonna be much more easier, okay? So I'm gonna go over it again. Just a long far hook, you can see where I aim, and same thing for 2-tile. Now I'm just gonna show for the record because I guess a lot of you want to know how. If you want to learn how to do a 1-tile and you don't know, then most one tiles you just do with a swing like that. So you swing simply, you get enough height from that, and if you get a longer one tile like here, you're gonna do it by spamming your hook, okay? And it's not really consistent for long distances. That's why a lot of pros will save it like that, but it's gonna get you enough for what maps usually have. As you can see, I'm not even perfect in that. Oh, okay. Got a long one. But yeah, those are the basic 3 tile, 1 tile and 2 tiles movements. Now the next basic movement that I want to teach you is going up in a 3 tile and a 2 tile, and it's pretty basic if you played in Didinet for a long time. You just press A and you hook the wall, or you press D and hook the second wall, and you go up and spam it. You can see it's pretty easy, and if you do it in a 2 tile, then you just want to do it with less force and more consistency, like that, and you just don't want to die and keep away from the freeze. And in a 1 tile, if you really want to learn, you have to first get the right position, if I can say, in the 1 tile, and then you spam it. So you can see I'm gonna first hook here and then throw myself up, okay? So I get the right movement and I throw myself up and I just spam the hook and try not to die, okay? And it's pretty hard. It's gonna be hard for beginners, so just practice those two and you will be golden. So the last thing I'm gonna teach you is how to actually get better and practice, okay? So the main way is playing maps, okay? Playing more and more and playing harder maps and giving yourself a challenge, okay? Always try to go for saves, always try to practice in parts. Even if you fail, try to do them again. It's not the end of the world, okay? And it's the only way that you will actually get better. Another way to practice is by going into maps like this. As you can see, this map is called All Gores. It's by Bad Ormed, and it's a really solid map to practice a lot of KOG skills. So you can just find it by going into browser and searching up All of Gores. There are 2 maps of that. Another way you can practice is by going into practice. You can see there's a server called T-Cloud. I love this server because it's usually empty and it's always available to pick whatever you want. You can just go into the difficulty you want, you can pick whatever map you want, and you can go into a team, you type practice, and you can even get your dummy here. And let's invite the dummy, and we can turn off the crowns by typing this. So a good way to practice in those kind of maps is you want to bind some button. I did bind say slash tele cursor, and what it's gonna do is whenever you press O, oh sorry, I'm not in a team. So whenever I press O, I'm just gonna get teleported to wherever my mouse is pointing at, and you can even do it in spec like this. And another bind you want to do is bind say slash last TP, and you pick of course a different button. I did V, and it's just gonna teleport you to wherever you TP'd the last time, and it's really helpful. You can just go like this, you die, let's say, you press O wherever you want to teleport, and then you just press V. So that is the basics of how playing KOG. I hope you enjoyed the video and it helped some of you. There is also one more thing that I didn't mention, and it is how to open your own server to practice a KOG map, and I will link another video showing that in the comments or the description. And for any questions, you're welcome to ask me in the comments. I'm sure I didn't cover some things. And I will see you next video. Bye bye.